On today's video, we're going to be taking a look at my Dompo skull collection. Now, this is my favourite mask of all time. Obviously, if you've seen any unboxings of skulls that I've got, then you know that's my feeling. To me, it's a perfect mask. And it was sculpted by Pat Newman in 1967. And to me, she absolutely nailed it with such a generic, basic idea. Because let's be honest, thousands of sculptors and mask companies have put out skull masks. I do just think it stands out because it's so unique. And even once you get past the sculpt and you look at the paint job, like I've got the same mask in different materials or whatever, and you'll see how much the paint job varies, whether it's a heavier white sitting on it or the black vinyl or latex showing through the white. It's just no two skulls look the same, and I've got around 13 masks in the collection, and I could just look at them all day. It's my favourite mask of all time, so yeah, I just wanted to show me collection, and I fancy taking a look at some skulls. So yeah, let's get into it. This is my Dompo skull collection. First up, we'll take a look at the Candy Pail. Now, the Candy Pail, this is a Dompo tagged one, and this one, compared to the Skull and the Witch, I think personally this is the best because it does just look like the mask, whereas the Skull and the Witch look like vintage Halloween candy pails. But to me, that does just look like the mask. I think it's absolutely incredible. I think it translates perfectly to the plastic candy pail. So yeah, man, I had to add that to the collection. I haven't bothered picking up the other two, but yeah, man, I just had to grab that, to be honest. But yeah, this is the Candy Pail. Next up, this is a 90s latex skull, and I've got to be honest, man, I thought this was a bootleg because it's quite a cool story how I found this, to be honest, because obviously being from Liverpool, there's not really many places to pick up masks, and Liverpool Horror Club had a horror market around Christmas a few years ago, and I was just having a little wander around there, and the guy had this sitting on the table, and as you can see it obviously does look like the Dompo skull, but not compared to that. So I thought it was a bootleg because there's Funwell bootlegs knocking around. But obviously, I put it in the Dom Post group, and yeah, it's a 90s latex skull. It's still tagged as well, which is really cool. Probably the coolest part of it, to be honest. But obviously, I don't know if this is going to show, but it's a glow skull, which it does glow really well, to be fair. And yeah, man, it's not my favourite skull by any means, but just the fact that I actually found this in a market in Liverpool just blew me head off. And the worst thing about it, though, is he had Dompo skeleton hands from the 90s as well. And he only wanted like 12 quid for them because I only paid 30 quid for this, so it was a no brainer to grab it. He had the skeleton hands, and stupid man, I should have just grabbed them for the life of me. I don't know why I left them on the table. Because I've been checking eBay because now I do want a pair, and they don't pop up that much, man. So that was fucking ridiculous, really. But yeah, a 90s tagged latex skull, which, like I say, it's nowhere near the best skull, but it's cool to have one in the collection. Like, this is a Trick or Treat Studios black blank vinyl skull, and this come and it was shockingly out of shape, to be honest. So I used the oven method. Now, the oven method is turn the oven on a low heat, put your mask in there for around a minute, if that, and it just softens the vinyl up and brings it back down to shape. Now, what I didn't know, because I'd never done it, is I left the grate in the oven so the grate was hot, and you can see there, fucking two big grate marks on it. So yeah, not the best, but I don't sell skulls, and I'm not in a rush to replace this. If I see one, I will grab it, but these are a bit of a nightmare to grab in the UK, so yeah, man, for the hassle of getting it over and stuff, there's other masks I want to add to the collection before, but I probably will replace it, to be honest, and just repaint this one. These actually appear in Halloween 3 as well in the background in the factory scene, because obviously all the blanks are there, and the pumpkin and witch are like similar to the latex skull, to be honest. They're like a beige blank, whereas obviously the skulls are black vinyl, and they just sponged them on. That's how they painted them. So these are actually like a little Halloween 3 oddball, but also when Dom Post got sold or went into liquidation in 2012, a lot of these blanks went onto the market as well. So these kind of, they were never released because they are just blanks, but they're in Halloween 3 in the background because it's a factory painting the masks before they make it out onto the shelf, so it makes sense. But obviously, yeah, they made it into collector's hands as well, with them going into liquidation in 2012. So yeah, it's a quite a little interesting release, to be honest, and I was dead excited for this, and it is cool. Just a black skull does look sick, to be honest. But yeah, man, nice little Halloween 3 oddball. Next up, we will take a look at the Ghost Skull. Now, I've got to be honest, when this was releasing, I didn't really get the hype, to be honest, because the mask community kind of went a bit mental on this one, and I didn't really get the hype of it, to be fair. But seeing in hand, it is an amazing mask. But this turned up with the black skull, and it was shockingly out of shape. And the other method didn't work the first time because it just fucked that one up. I didn't really do it properly, but a few weeks ago, I got it back into shape, and yeah, man, I've kind of fallen in love with this mask, to be fair. And the thing that makes this mask so unique is back in the 70s, when it was released in 1977, it actually only ran in this form for 1 year because they put the glow in the dark pigment in with the vinyl, and it created this weird beige kind of, well, this look, what I'm holding. It created that, and it does glow. It's quite hard to charge the top ones, though, to be fair, but you can see there it does glow. But yeah, so this only ran in 1977, and then in 1978 when they were making these, because it was part of the Haunted Mansion line, and it was this mask, the Gravedigger, and then I think the other two are Mr. Mortimer and Mr. Leech. But it was a 4-mask run, and 1977 was the only year this ran, and then from 1978 onwards, then masks were pink to glow in the dark. So yeah, this is a really unique mask, and Tots putting this out is great because yeah, having a 1 year run, as you can imagine, these don't pop up too much, and when they do, they're quite expensive. But yeah, I've got a newfound love for this because I didn't really get all hype, but yeah, man, that's a pretty special mask. I fucking love that mask now, to be honest. Next up, this was a Glowing Ghoulies skull, and about a year ago on the channel I repainted it green, but the green just dulled, and it wasn't like a Viridian green, it was quite a dull green. I didn't really like the way it looked, and my plan was to strip it and repaint it as a vermilion because I haven't got any representation of a vermilion, and vermilion money is fucking ridiculous. There's one on eBay now for like $1,100, which is around 700 quid. And if I had that money, I'd be buying like a jumbo skull or a perfect H3 white skull. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'd never spend vermilion money on a vermilion, but I repainted the Glowing Ghoulies one because I couldn't strip it. So this has got like 4 or 5 layers of paint on it, but I repainted it and just done my take of the vermilion, and it hasn't got any of the black shading, so it's not really a vermilion, but I'm really happy with how it looks, to be honest. And I used the plastic insert, I painted them black and just cut the eyes out, and I used them as vermilion eyes, and I think that translates pretty well, man, because obviously in all the vinyl masks you get like a plastic insert to help it hold shape, and I think that was a good use of that. I think it does translate pretty well. But yeah, it's not a perfect replica of a vermilion because it hasn't got any of the black lines there, it hasn't got the black shade in there, it's just got it in the mouth. But that'll do, man, as a placeholder for a mask that I didn't really love. I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. Next up, this is the Glowing Ghoulies skull, and I'll just try and show you some of the glow. You can see it there slightly. Well, I don't know if the room's too bright, but yeah, you can see that anyway. But yeah, man, I do find this mask holds its shape a lot better because compared to all the other vinyl masks, this has got a thinner pull, and like I say, that used to be one, and that's shaped perfectly. So I don't know why these are the thinner pulls, but they seem to shape perfect, man, because look at that. That's like a perfect shaped skull. There's no bumps whatsoever. It's such a good shape for a skull, to be honest. And yeah, I like the Glowing Ghoulies line. I've got the last one I needed, which is Nuclear Death. I've got that on the way with another skull because I'm going to repaint a skull. I've completed the Glowing Ghoulies line now because I've got the other 3 down there. And like I say, man, it's another skull. I don't love the paint job as much as the other vinyl releases, but it needed to go in the collection. And yeah, man, I quite like the Glowing Ghoulies line. So right, next up, this is the Don Post Antique, and it's kind of their take on the Plastisol chocolate skulls. And you can see there, I don't know if you can see that brown, that light coming through, but it really, once the light hits it, it really shows that it's like brown latex rather than black latex. And yeah, man, once that light catches it, it's fucking amazing. And also, I thought this was very similar to the vinyl skulls, but it's like an off-white cream paint that they've used over the brown, and it does look quite dark there, but then yeah, man, like I say, once that light hits it, you can't see the brown. And again, this is similar to the Glowing Ghoulies. It's still quite a decent thickness, but for whatever reason, man, this is a perfect shape, and this is probably my favourite of the Tots vinyl skulls in my collection. I fucking adore this mask. And again, it kind of come out of nowhere because the black vinyl should be my favourite. But yeah, man, this has just got a perfect shape. I love that brown when the light hits it, and the off-white cream just looks really fucking sick, man. Right, next up, this is devastating, this, because this is a fucking perfect vinyl skull. However, it come and it had excess latex there, and you can see the eyes are so fucking gammy on that. It had so much excess latex there, and it got delivered like that, and I just couldn't get it into shape. So like a stupid idiot, I trimmed it, and I've permanently put the eye out of shape, and it just looks so stupid. But the paint job on this mask is absolutely incredible. You can see some of like the sponge marks on the back, like it's a perfect vintage paint job, and there's so much black coming through that, and obviously that's my favorite part. So I'm absolutely devastated that this is a damaged copy, because yeah, man, when you look at all that black coming through, it's fucking incredible, man. And because of the damage there, these come back into stock in Mad About Horror, so I picked up a second copy. You can see it next to it. It's obviously very similar. It's the same mask, but I just think the paint is a little bit heavier on that copy, and that's more my taste of a skull. So I really fucking wish that skull had this paint job, because that would be a perfect vinyl skull. And if that was the case, that would be my favourite skull by a fucking country mile, vintage skulls included, because I just think that's a perfect paint job for a skull. And yeah, man, it's still sick because it's a vinyl black skull, and yeah, the fact that Tots are releasing these skulls in vinyl again is absolutely incredible. But yeah, man, this was my replacement copy with Mad About Horror, and it's still slightly out of shape. I can't really get a good shape out of this one. And when you stuff these, if you stuff them too wide, they just don't look like skulls anymore. So that's kind of the best I'm getting, and it's only slightly out of shape. But yeah, man, it's not as perfect as that one, which is breaking me heart, man. And then next up, this is how I like to display this one. This is a glow-in-the-dark Tots H3 latex skull, and what's weird about these is you can see they've painted the glow-in-the-dark paint on, so it kind of sits on top of the white. And yeah, man, it looks really weird, but it glows really well, to be fair. I don't know if you can see that there, but it does glow really well. And when I repainted Halloween 3 Witch into a Hagatha, I remade a black hood, well, a darker hood for it. So I had an extra hood, and personally, I think the skull should have been offered with a hood, because I love hooded masks. I think it's so good, and that's such a good option for this mask. It looks insane, man. So I do like to just throw that H3 hood on the skull, and yeah, man, that's so cool. And this is the Don Post tagged latex skull, and I've got to be honest, I got a fucking great copy of this. And the reason I say that is because every other copy I've seen has had so much heavy white over the top, whereas this copy, man, has got some great detail around the back, and obviously more black coming through on the front, which is amazing. It's quite scruffy around the bottom. And yeah, man, like I say, this is just the latex Don Post skull, but compared to the Tot skull, it's actually black vinyl, whereas the Tot skull is like a beige, and they painted it. Well, the first runs of the Tot skull. So yeah, man, it is actually different. And obviously, latex doesn't last as well as vinyl, because vinyl just lasts forever. And obviously, the old skulls are vinyl, so it is good. But I do love the shape of a latex skull. They're so easy, man. You just get them, throw them on a shelf, and they look perfect. And yeah, out of every copy I've seen of the Don Post tagged ones, I got a fucking amazing copy, to be honest. And yeah, I'm buzzing with that, to be fair. This is the last of the Tot skulls, and this is the very first skull that I bought. I think I bought it in like 2015, 2016, so it's like 10, 11 years old. And last year, I met Tom Atkins after the Love of Horror, and I was going to take a vinyl skull to get signed by him. And he signed it there, Stop It, Tom Atkins, Chalice. And I was going to get a vinyl skull, which would have made a lot of sense, because obviously, like I've just said, they last forever. But I don't know, man. This has just got so much sentimental value. Like I've sold and rebought my collection a few times due to circumstances, and for whatever reason, I couldn't ever let this one go. So this is like my longest skull that I've owned, really. And yeah, man, I do love that copy. And it was between this or the vinyl skull to get signed. And like I say, the vinyl would have made more sense for aging, but I think I'm just gonna get this foam filled and preserve this, because I fucking love this. And obviously, like I was saying, that's what they used to make the latex skulls in. And for 11 years old, man, it's doing well. It's not hard anywhere. I've seen a few of them are like starting to harden now from 2013 to 2015. But yeah, man, mine's going quite well, and it lives inside the cabinet. So hopefully it should be all right for a bit longer. But I am going to get this foam filled and preserve this properly. But yeah, man, sentimentality of this skull, I had to go with this, even though the vinyl makes more sense. Right, so that's the last of the tot skulls. Next up, this is 1976 mold, 80s paint job. If it's 80s, it's got like a whiter paint job because of the glow paint went really dingy, which you'll see in my next copy. But yeah, man, I picked this up on eBay. There's a video from a few months ago. I picked this up on eBay for fucking steal. It was like 180 all in. And yeah, for a vintage Don Post mask, that's incredible, to be honest. And it was up for like 220, and then I got an offer. So yeah, I couldn't say no to it, really. And it turned up in this tiny box, man. It was like that thick, and it was folded down the middle, so it's still got quite a gnarly point to its face. But I mean, aside from that, man, it's an amazing copy. I love all the black showing through. The 76 is quite a small mask, to be fair. So I do want a bigger. I mean, I want a jumbo, but I want a bigger mask. So I am after more vintage skulls. But yeah, man, with me other copy being a 78 dingy copy, didn't really represent Halloween 3 too much. So I just had to grab this. And yeah, man, vintage skulls for 180. You don't see them at all. So that was an absolute steal. I had to pick that up. And finally, we have my very first vintage skull, and this was hefty, man. This was hefty. I think I paid like $560, which is like $350. Which, don't get me wrong, I don't think I overpaid. I just, with it being my first skull, I put in groups and stuff, and someone popped up saying that was the price that they wanted, and I didn't really look for another skull. I just kind of jumped on it because I got excited because I found one, and yeah, man, hindsight being what it is, I think I probably could have got a closer to Halloween 3 copy for around that money. But that aside, now I've got the white vintage skull. I'm really fucking happy to have this because it's a perfect copy, an example of this style of mask. It's got no tears in the keel whatsoever. It's a fucking amazing shape. Yeah, when you see it next to this, even though it's the same mold, it has got a different shape to it. This is a glow skull, and these are fucking nuclear, man. These don't half glow. Obviously, the room's quite light, but the old 70s glow masks are like fucking night lights. Like, I've got a Carlisle, and it genuinely lights up the room. It's insane. When I'm watching a film or whatever and turn the light off, it just fucking glows in the cabinet. It looks amazing. But yeah, man, so this was my first vintage skull. It's never leaving the collection because no skull ever does leave the collection. But like I say, I don't think I overpaid, but I think I could have found something closer to the Halloween 3. And I've seen these masks, granted not in the better condition, so my mask is fucking great, but I've seen this paint job go for a few $100s cheaper, like 350, 400 kind of thing. So it's not the end of the world. I've bought it, man, and I fucking love it so much, especially now I've got a white vintage skull. Like, I'm buzzing to have such a perfect example of that mask, and yeah, man, I absolutely love it. But yeah, with it being a dingier copy, I didn't ever really get the Halloween 3 vibe from it, but it's fucking genius, man. I absolutely love it. Right, that was my Don Post skull collection anyway. And that's every TOTS variant so far released that I've picked up. And I am after more vintage skulls. I'm going to be honest, I'm just going to keep buying skulls, to be fair. If I could get rid of everything on there and just have that whole wall of skulls, I'd trade that in a fucking heartbeat, to be honest. But yeah, I'm after the 77 stamp, which I thought I found that because I bought 4 vintage skulls, like a bundle, and they were so fucking cheap. But one of them had been repaired, and then the lad who bought them off kind of wanted to keep hold of one of them because a bit of sentimentality with his daughter, which I completely get. I don't blame him, but that mask was the one that made me want to buy the bundle, basically. So yeah, the deal kind of fell apart. So I am after a 77 stamp. I'm after a jumbo, obviously. Like I say, I'm going to be honest, I'm just after more vintage skulls. So if you have got vintage skulls for a decent price, drop me a message on Instagram or on here, and yeah, man, I'll take them off your hand all day because yeah, I just want to keep collecting skulls. But yeah, that was my Don Post skull collection anyway. Nice one for checking the videos. If you did enjoy it, like and subscribe to the channel, share it around, that'd be massively appreciated. And yeah, see you on the next one. Nice one.